Let us pray. Lord, I pray as I race today, keep me safe along the way. Not only me, but others too, as they perform the jobs
Hey,
they
David,
do.
you having issues still?
I know, God, that in a race, I, the driver, must set the pace. But in this race of life, I pray,
So,
help me, Lord,
it's not letting
along
you
the
join
way.
as a spectator at
Although
all?
I know I am a sinner, help me to believe that with God, you're always a winner.
Do I need to set up spectator on me so you can jump in, or? Alrighty, man. Good luck.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose red stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of death with victory and peace? May the heaven-rescued land praise the power that hath made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome to the DRL Winter Series A Split Race. Tonight we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 97.5 miles or 65 laps. Should be a pretty good race tonight. Let me get everything set up and we'll start running down some stats for y'all. Just give me just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ATVO is messing with me real hard tonight. I don't quite understand. Come on, just check the box, please. We're going to take a quick break so y'all don't have to listen to dead silence while I'm sitting here trying to make this work.
Shh. Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness, and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And we're back. And I'm hoping everything's coming through loud and clear. Again, we are at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 97.5 miles or 65 laps. This is the A split for the DRL Winter Series. And I am your host, David Wellborn. And I will be here for the completion of this race. And we will run the main event at 9:30. And if you're just tuning in, We did experience just a little bit of technical difficulties right off the get-go, but I got it all worked out, and I believe that we should be doing just fine for the rest of the evening. As it stands right now, Anthony Burroughs is the fastest man on the track, so that's not really much of a surprise. But let's get through some of these point standings and championship standings. As of last week, our main event winner was Blake Griffith, followed by Brady Briggs, Landon Lacey, Eric Wolf, and Ryan Hesgard. And that was the main event. In our A split, Landon Lacey won the event, Anthony Burroughs was second, Eric Wolf was third, Brady Briggs fourth, and Blake Griffith fifth. In our B split, John Mullins ended up finishing in the first place, Martin Wenzel second, Alan Bowman third, C.R. Reed fourth, and Yevis St. Ong was fifth. Our current point standings for the main event is Brady Briggs, Blake Griffith, Zachary Smith, Bradley Freeman, Jordan Gonzalez. In our A split, the point standings is Brady Briggs, Daniel Hallis, Blake Griffith, Jordan Gonzalez, and James Pandal. In our B split, C.R. Reed is first, Adam Chapman is second, Yevis St. Ong is third, Kenneth Lehman fourth, and rounding out your top five is Brendan Red. Like I said, we will not be able to bring you any of the qualifying laps. Just have to call out the times. We're really not sure what's going on. We think we might have it set up for the 9:30, but this is under a hosted session, and for some reason I'm still not able to join as a spectator. But hopefully we'll get all that worked out at 9:30. It should already be set up and everything, and it looks like to me it looks like it's going to work, but we won't know until 9:30. But Clay Phillips is in the second position as the fastest man on the track right now. Brady Briggs is third, Jordan Gonzalez is fourth, and James South rounds out your top five. And it looks like we're going to have 13 drivers in this race due to the holidays. People still got Christmas shopping to do, and you know, probably some of them will have to go out of town to be with family members and stuff, and I know how that is. So we'll do what we got, and you know, it is what it is. It's not a big race anyway, so I mean, we had 13 drivers here. Don't know how many drivers we got in the B race, but we still should end up with at least good 20 drivers or more inside of the main event, which would bring us a pretty good race. Now these drivers do still get 2 fast repairs and a 22 lap incidence for the split races. And to just clarify, in our main event we have reduced that down to 1 fast repair and 22 incidences per race to try to shorten up the number of cautions that we have in the races to bring y'all a lot better racing. I don't expect to see too many yellow flags tonight, as we only have 13 drivers here on that's going to be racing. So maybe 3 at the most I'm looking at for the split races, and you know, if everything goes well, we may get a good long green flump. I'm getting tongue tied already. We may end up getting a really long good green run within both of the races tonight. Again, we will be running 150 miles and 100 laps for our main event, so it'll be a pretty good race this evening. We got a little more than 6 minutes to go before they start qualifying. I just want to say I got to give a big thanks and a big shout out to Oculus Rift for sponsoring this network. They did a really good job for me, providing me with an Oculus Rift system for the network. And then I got to thank NVIDIA as well, as they sent me a NVIDIA 1070 video card so I could bring these races to y'all in 1080p or 780p. I'm really not sure how I got it set up, but we're bringing it to you in the best quality graphics that we can get you. Got to give a big shout out to Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez. I believe those are the two gentlemen that do a lot of the graphics for DRL, and they do a lot of work for me as well for putting on these races and bringing y'all some new graphics. Usually every race, we don't have a new graphic for the Atlanta race tonight, but we will be working on that for the 2018 series. We should have custom graphics for almost every race. I know we got custom graphics already set up for the sponsorship for those leagues. Now, you can still sponsor the league. You can sponsor any single race that you want, or you can sponsor the whole series. Now, we will be running the Cup, Xfinity, and the Truck Series in 2018. With that said, you can, like I said, all you have to do is click the link below to Dynasty Racing League, drop James Pandolph a line and let him know that you're interested in sponsoring one of these races or the league itself. Any sponsorship takes a burden off of us who are putting this league together to make sure that we got good, clean, quality gentleman racers. This is a gentleman's league, and we want to keep it that way. And any burden off of the expense of us goes back into the drivers. ORN is actually sponsoring the championship, and we are going to be giving away 25 iRacing dollars to the champion. I don't know if it's already set up on the website or not, but ORN is donating 25 iRacing dollars to the winner of the DRL Winter Series main event. So with that said, I try to help out the best I can by putting on these broadcasts, and it's just something really nice to do for the league and for these drivers who work really hard week after week after week, testing and testing. Jordan Gonzalez, every week he sets up a 4-hour practice for these gentlemen to come in here so that they don't just do whatever they're going to do all week long and then try to get in here 30 minutes before the race and get a handle on the trucks. He puts the servers up, and any member that's in DRL is more than welcome, regardless of whether they're in the event or not. They're more than welcome to practice, and that gives everybody a good chance to drive around and see how the trucks are going to handle, see how they're going to handle in practice and stuff like that for the race. So I mean, he does a lot, and right now he's actually bumped Anthony Burroughs down to the second position, and Jordan Gonzalez is now the fastest man on the track. His best lap is a 30.859. Anthony Burroughs is second, Clay Phillips is third, Brady Briggs is right now in the fourth position, and James South is still rounds out your top 5. With a little less than 3 minutes to go, we will be bringing in the qualifying. So I'm going to take another quick break and thank my sponsors, NVIDIA and Oculus Rift, by doing these videos one more time. And when we get back, we should be ready to get some qualifying times in and go racing.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness, and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. An HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And we're back live, ladies and gentlemen. All the drivers are getting ready to start making their qualifying laps, and we'll give them just a few seconds to get at least their first lap in. You know, I got to say that Brady Briggs is really doing a good job at trying to finish consistently in both the A race and the splits. Well, the main event and the A split. Again, he's in the 4th position for the A split, but he's leading the standings right now in our main event. These gentlemen, like I said, they put a lot of work in these trucks and sitting here night after night racing and iRacing, and they, like I said, they really put a lot of time into driving these trucks. This is not something that you can do. You just can't come in here 30 minutes before the race, run a few laps, and expect to get a handle on these trucks. It just doesn't happen that way. You got to put the time in if you want to finish in the lead or win the race, or Lord, just even finishing a race. I know I put a lot of time in at iRacing. And like I say, if it wasn't for, you know, Oculus Rift providing me with the Rift system, you know, I actually picked up a good 20% on my driving abilities just by being able to sit inside of the car and look around instead of having a solid stationary monitor to look at. It makes a difference between night and day. It really does. So if you got a chance and you want to experience iRacing the way it really should be, get you an Oculus Rift today. You will need at least a decent video card, and I do suggest a 1070 or 1080. Those are usually the best NVIDIA cards that you can get for setting up your system for Oculus Rift. Now I'm running dual 1070s in SLI mode, so I'm able to really turn my graphics up in the game and inside of the broadcast. So as of right now, David Wright is sitting on the pole with a 31.027. Clay Phillips is, no, let me take that back, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Currently Brady Briggs is a 30.8 7-0, and he's in our first position. Blake Griffiths is second, Ryan Hesgard is third, Jordan Gonzalez fourth, and Anthony Burroughs is currently fifth. That's probably going to change here in just a second, unless these drivers have already made 2 laps. It doesn't tell me how many laps they've made during qualifying, so we're just going to have to hold out for a minute and 30 seconds to find out if anybody decides to steal the lead. And it looks like Blake Griffith did take the lead away from Brady Briggs, I mean. So as right now, the first and second position have switched. We're going to wait it out just a little second, a few more minutes, and then we'll go through the rundown between the gridding positions. I don't know why Landon Lacey is not taking a lap. He's not taking a lap at all right now, unless he has actually hit the wall, or lost it on all turns. But these drivers are supposed to put a time up no matter what. That is in our rules. So I'm really not sure why Landon Lacey didn't post a qualifying time. We got a little less than 20 seconds to go, and we'll start gridding these trucks up and get ready to go racing. Excuse me. Again, we are at DRL Winter Series A Split, the Atlanta 97.5, live here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the DRL Winter Series. And I know I spelt winter wrong. I can see it now. So let me kind of fix that real quick. There we go. That's better. Alright. Let's get our grid going here. We got Blake Griffith sitting on the pole, followed by Brady Briggs. And yes, I see that the graphics are still messed up, but it's all I can do to get the plaques in the background to work. Next, we got Ryan Hesgard sitting in our third position. Jordan Gonzalez is fourth. Anthony Burroughs is fifth. Clay Phillips is sixth. James South is in our seventh position. Ryan Branch is in our eighth. James Pandolf is ninth. Daniel Hallis is 10th. David Wright is 11th. Chris James is 12th. And Landon Lacey actually comes in our 13th position. Of course, he didn't post a time, so therefore he's not showing on the grid. I'm assuming that he's going to race. So with that said, I hope he does decide to make it in here and actually run some laps, because he is leading the point standings in the A split. So maybe he'll get in here and make the field. I hope he does. $65 laps here to go at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see if we can't get our graphics set up real quick. I think we'll go with this for right now. I'm going to try to bring you every one of the wrecks if I can get them. Sometimes it's hard for me not to see the wrecks, but I'll try to get them if I can. Tonight we are running the 1.5 miles. The track temperature is set at 86.7 degrees. We are cloudy with 81 air temperature. We got 8-mile-an-hour winds out of the north. So these trucks are going to really have a little handful when they start going in these turns. Now the lights are out on the pace car, and we're set to go green flag racing. And the green flag is out and we are racing. And I'm gonna have to do something about the volume because I didn't even hear him say the pace car is in. So, but anyway, we got Blake Griffith. He's found his line and he's making his move down to turn 3. Got Brady Briggs, he's currently second. Jordan Gonzalez jumped up a little bit and he's in third. Ryan Hesgard is fourth, and Clay Phillips rounds out your top 5. And it looks like James South is taking a look on the inside of Anthony Burroughs. We'll watch this just for a second. Now Anthony likes that high line, so I don't think that James is going to be able to complete that pass. It's just something about Anthony and running that high line. It just works for him. But James ain't giving it up. He's doing everything he can. And I'm hoping that he can hold this truck on the bottom. And he finally slides in behind Anthony Burroughs, which is probably a smart move for right now. James Pandolf is sitting right there and behind James South. Come back here in the back, and it looks like David Wright and Chris James are off the pace quite a bit. I mean, it looks like the gap is almost 5 seconds back now. Why they're so far back, I'm really not for sure. Maybe they're just holding their breath and making sure that if these gentlemen go for a green flag for quite a bit and not bring out no yellow, they're going to sit here and ride nose to tail. We'll just jump around every once in a while and take a look at it. Yeah, see, David Wright and Chris James, they almost a quarter of a track back. I think that's probably by design, not to get into the big one the first thing. And it looks like Jordan Gonzalez is taking a look on the inside of Brady Briggs. Now Jordan down low, Brady Briggs is on the high side, and it looks like Jordan Gonzalez may actually make his pass. He rubbed off a little speed right there going down the backstretch, but he's still on the bottom. Now he gets a good run right there. Brady Briggs is not giving up that position easily. Oh, and they're real close coming off there. I'm surprised they didn't make contact. Jordan Gonzalez thinks better of it and probably going to let his tires cool down after running those 3 laps like that. I would anyway. Come back here, ride around a little bit with Anthony Burroughs as he takes a look at the back door of Clay Phillips. I'm sure Anthony's just riding around being safe right now too. We are only 8 laps into this race and they're not really looking for any yellows tonight. I really don't expect to see but 1 or 2 yellows. And Jordan Gonzalez decides he's going to take another look on the inside of Brady Briggs. And Brady gets a good run coming off of the backstretch back there off of 4. And it looks like Jordan, he kind of pushes just a little bit, has to back out of to keep him slamming into him. looks like Jordan may actually lose some spots here if he doesn't complete this pass, as Ryan Hesgard has moved up, and it looks like Clay Phillips is getting ready to take a look on the inside of Ryan. Jordan Gonzalez and Brady Briggs are still battling it out for the second position. Clay Phillips thought better of it. Now the battle is still here for second position. Jordan Gonzalez, I think he's going to slide up right in behind Brady Briggs right now. We're going to have to let them tires cool down one more time. And Clay Phillips decides he's going to take the high side and try to make the move on Ryan Hesgard. And he is unable to do it. And he falls right back in position. With all that battling going on, Blake Griffith has pulled out a really good lead. He's up by 7/10 on the leader, on the second place truck. Blake Griffith is our leader. We jump back here and we're going to sit back and watch. David Wright and Chris James are almost 10 seconds back off the pace. They're probably just sitting back waiting. They're definitely going to need a yellow if they're going to catch back up. They're going to need one, they just don't want to be one. And Clay Phillips is now taking a look on the inside of Ryan Hesgard again. And it looks like Clay gets him a really good run coming off of 2, and he does complete that pass. He slid right up, and he almost hit Anthony Burroughs, as he wasn't quite sure if he had made the clear pass and ended up pulling back down in front of Anthony Burroughs. But he did successfully complete his pass on Ryan Hesgard. So move Clay Phillips up into the 4th position. Now the battle's going to be right here for the meantime. I just don't believe Jordan Gonzalez he's doing everything he can to get to the back of Brady Briggs and complete that pass. But right now the battle is between those 3 trucks of Anthony Burroughs, Ryan Hesgard, and Clay Phillips. And Ryan Hesgard, he looks to me like he really wants to run that bottom, and he's took another look inside of Clay Phillips to try to get his spot back, and he does. And Anthony Burroughs is going to go with him on the inside. He's going to try to complete that pass on Clay Phillips as well. And he completes the pass finally. Anthony Burroughs has moved him up into the 5th position and moved Clay Phillips back into the 6th. Now I'm really not sure what the fuel mileage is, if they can make it on what they got, or if they're going to have to come in for a splash and go. But I do imagine these trucks are going to be coming in around lap 35 or 40 for tires. I know I wouldn't want to be out there. And it looked like there was just a little bit of contact right there between Clay Phillips and Anthony Burroughs. It might have been Ryan Hesgard and Anthony Burroughs. I didn't quite get a look at it, but it did look like there was a little bit of contact right there on the back door of Anthony Burroughs. And Clay Phillips has actually made his move back around Ryan Hesgard. So the battle right now is between these 3 trucks. And while them trucks have been racing around and messing around, that's allowed James South to catch up with them, and he's looking to make a move as well. Now this right here, now we almost got 3 wide right there between James South, Ryan Hesgard, and Clay Phillips. That's something you really don't want to do here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, as these trucks really start pushing up on the side when you get down here in these turns, especially coming off of turn 4. I would not want to be 3 wide coming off of turn 4. Somebody would definitely eat the wall. Ryan Hesgard is trying to get his way back in position in front of Clay Phillips, and it looks like, yep, there was some contact, and Clay Phillips is into the wall, and looks like Chris James, after catching that pack, ended up getting contacted and spinning around. We'll take a quick look at that replay one more time. And lo and behold, we actually got the replay to work tonight, so I may end up having to rewind it just a little bit more. Let's rewind it just a little bit more. See if we can't get it one more time. Well, I don't know if it's gonna let me. One more time, and we might actually get this replay in. Alright, we'll do the chase view here and see what we can see. Now, James South is on the high side. He's got Ryan Hesgard in up underneath him. And it looks like Clay just gets into the wall right there, and James had nowhere to go, and he ends up getting a hold of the 23 of Ryan Branch, and he did booger up the front end of that truck right there. So that looks like it's going to be 4 trucks involved in that incident. So we are back live, and it looks like James South did take a fast repair. Clay Phillips is still sitting on pit road. I think he's not taking his fast repair. He's going to save that and try to get a little bit of work done. He's got plenty of time before the pace car comes back out, gets back around there to him. So as of right now, it's showing Ryan Hesgard in first, followed by Blake Griffith. Anthony Burrows is in third. Brady Briggs is fourth, and Jordan Gonzalez rounds out our top 5. And Ryan Hesgard decided he was going to lead that lap. He's going to come in and get his service now. So that moves Blake Griffith back up into the lead position. And that moves Anthony into second, Brady Briggs in third, Jordan Gonzalez fourth, and Ryan Branch is in the 5th position. Let's take a quick look and see if he had to use a fast repair or if he actually got damage. I don't see any damage to the back end of his truck. And the front end looks pretty good as well. So Ryan Hesgard either took a fast repair or he didn't have much damage at all. They got one more circuit to make around here before they go back green. I'm assuming that the pace lights will be out this time around. Now I've messed my sound up somehow, so I can just barely hear the spotter. So we'll be alright. I'll manage to get through it. With it, so much I do on my system, ladies and gentlemen, it's just, I have so many times I have to change the sound settings on this machine when I go to do something. Either I'm using a headset or then I'm using the Rift or calling these races, broadcasting, so that's got a different sound setup and everything. So it's sometimes like last week, I had it so messed up I didn't even know what was going on, was not able to bring the driver's interviews to y'all. All you could hear was me, and I really apologize for that. But we're trying to get all this straightened out. This is my first few times of doing this. This is only my 5th or 6th time, actually the 6th time I've ever broadcasted a race. I'm hoping to get a little better with it, but you know, it is what it is right now. And I do this for the DRL League just cause I like to do it. You know, it's fun for me to sit here and bring y'all these races and make these calls for this race. And we are working caution number 1. If you're here, we've had caution 1 for 4 laps, so it is one of the 3 that I expected we're going to have. Now they're coming down off turn 4, and the pace car is in, and the green flag is out. So we are green flag racing once again. Blake Griffith gets a really good run, and Brady Briggs is taking a look on the inside of Anthony Burrows. And I believe he's going to make that pass. And he's going to bring Jordan Gonzalez with him, I think. Yep, Jordan Gonzalez was able to complete that pass as well. So move Brady Briggs in the 2nd, Jordan Gonzalez in the 3rd, and move Anthony Burrows back into the 4th position. Daniel Hallis rounds out your top 5. Ryan Branch is in 6th. Chris James is 7th. James South is 8th. Move him, Chris James, up into 7th, and he just makes that pass on the inside of Ryan Branch. Or Chris James, that is. Ryan Branch is on the backside of him. And he is actually taking a look on the inside of James South, but he was not able to make that move. Ryan Hesgard is back here in the back, and he's taking a look up underneath David Wright. And I believe he's actually going to complete that pass. And he's probably going to end up bringing Clay Phillips with him. Clay decides he's going to duck in behind David Wright for right now. But David Wright's not going to give that position up easy. He's taking a look back underneath Ryan Hesgard. And this is the battle for 9th and 10th position. We're going to sit right here for just a second. David was not able to complete that pass. Now we'll jump back up here to the leaders and see what's going on here. And everybody seems to be nose to tail. Landon Lacey did not take the field, ladies and gentlemen, so he didn't even get a lap in, so he did not take the field, but he will get points as long as he sits here in the race. You get points for just sitting here and being here at the end, so if you actually finish the race, those are valuable bonus points that these drivers look forward to keeping. And we're going to drop back here again to David Wright, and it looks like James South is taking a look on the inside of Chris James. And I don't know if he's going to be able to make that pass. Clay Phillips goes to the grass just a little bit as he decides to take a look on the inside of David Wright. Ryan Hesgard gets a heck of a run and has to slow up just a little bit for James South. Clay Phillips is way off the track. He's trying to avoid an accident right there as Ryan Hesgard is still taking a look on the inside of James South. David Wright is able to make the pass, or is trying to complete the pass, that is, on Chris James. Chris James is not willing to give it up. So the battle right now is between Ryan Hesgard and James South and Chris James and David Wright. And it looks like James South is deciding he's going to try to make the crossover move back underneath Ryan Hesgard. And Chris James is finally going to fall in behind right there, behind David Wright. And we get back up here, like I said, James South will not give up that position to Ryan Hesgard, and he's going to continue to battle on the low side. Well, while this battling going on, these drivers are falling farther and farther back off of the lead pack. With Ryan Hesgard leading that pack, he is actually 3.5 seconds back off the leader. And I imagine that's probably going to be about 1.5 seconds off of the lead pack car or truck. Daniel Hallis, he decides he's going to take a look on the inside of Ryan Branch. Did not quite make it. Clay Phillips is back here. He's finally caught that pack back. And I imagine once he gets his truck right there in the draft, he'll be able to catch up and start making some moves. James Pandolf is way back here off of the pace, and it looks to me like he actually has some front end damage. Let's see if we can't get a... Yeah, James Pandolf has smacked the wall somewhere. I don't know where he's done that at, but he's definitely smacked the wall. So... Brady Briggs has moved himself back up into second position. Or he's been there the whole time. I've been bouncing around so much I can't tell you who was where. But as of right now, Blake Grip is our leader. Brady Briggs is second. Jordan Gonzalez is third. Anthony Burroughs is fourth. And Ryan Branch brings out our top five. Daniel Hallis is following just a little on the outside of Ryan Branch. I do like that Ghostbusters truck. Now, Ghostbusters is a sponsor of our DRL series, and they're kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation. What they do is they try to do things like Make-A-Wish Foundation. They try to make dreams come true for the children who have cancer and stuff like that. So, you got to give a hats off to the Ghostbusters. If I can, let me zoom in just a little bit and we'll get a more information. It's Northwest Ohio's Ghostbusters. Like I said, that's a charity that sponsored these races for us. You got to give them a big hats off. We do appreciate any sponsor that we get, and this is definitely one that hits our heart. So big hats off to North Ohio Ghostbusters. Gonna jump back here in the back and see what's going on. And these trucks have finally got spread out. Clay Phillips has finally got around David Wright, and he's now trying to get to James Wright. He finally got around Chris James. I mean, to believe the battle's getting ready to be between Anthony Burroughs and Jordan Gonzalez. Anthony closes in a little bit each lap, and I think he's going to end up taking that move here in just a second. I think we're probably going to see pit stops within the next 3 or 4 laps. Of course, it could be wrong. I forgot that they just pitted. So they're only 18 laps on these tires. So they probably have made the one and only stop that they need to make. As long as it stays green, I'm pretty sure that they can finish this race under a green flag with no more tires and gasoline. With that said, we're going to take us a quick break.
Shh! Hear that? That's the sound of technological advancement happening with each passing second and making you and all you stand for obsolete. HDR, or High Dynamic Range, is the latest and greatest of those advancements, and in a nutshell, it improves the contrast between light and dark, giving you a more accurate reproduction of colour. The technical definition for HDR panels demands a 4K resolution and a contrast ratio of 1000 nits at peak brightness, and just 0.05 nits at black level. In case you're wondering, 1 nit is roughly equivalent to the light one candle gives off. But if you'll forgive us the excellent pun, it's not quite as black and white as all that. In a game like Monolith's Middle-earth Shadow of War, it's the difference between seeing the developer's true vision of Tolkien's land and a diluted version of it. Take Mount Doom, for example, an icon of the geography and a perfect demonstration of the game's dramatic visuals. an HDR-capable gaming PC offers more contrast between the glowing lava and the charred rock. In this fight at Gorgoroth at the base of the mountain, Talion takes down some occupying orcs using Celebrimbor's bright blue wraith magic against a backdrop of billowing chimneys and lava lakes. HDR brings out the details in all these elements, producing brighter blues, making the explosions pop, and retaining the inky blacks of each shadow and dark cloud. It isn't only in extreme contrast situations that the benefits of an HDR gaming rig really shine through though. In this dark and gloomy interior, HDR is better able to articulate small differences in shades of a similar colour. So areas that might once have looked washed out in SDR appear atmospheric and immersive. So if you're wondering why HDR really matters in games, just remember Mount Doom and its lovely lava flow. From now until October 16th, when you buy select GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and GeForce GTX 1080 graphics cards, systems and laptops from a participating retailer, you can also bag a bundled copy of Middle-earth: Shadow of War and enjoy the very best PC gaming experience.
And we're back, and it looks like Brady Briggs ended up getting into the wall sometime while we were gone on the break. He does have a little bit of damage on the front of his truck, and he's moved all the way back into the 4th position. Excuse me. And Jordan Gonzalez has moved his way up into the 2nd. Anthony Burroughs is now taking a look on the inside of Jordan, and we'll stay right here for a second, see if Anthony Burroughs is able to complete this pass. Anthony was not able to complete that pass, and he falls right back in behind Jordan Gonzalez. Like I said, I don't know what exactly happened to Brady Briggs while we were on commercial break, but he has damaged the front of his truck, and Daniel Hallis is closing in on him pretty quick too. So that's a big upset for Brady Briggs. I know he was wanting to continue to maintain his consistency and actually try to get out here and get him a win. Now, he works real hard, and he's been real close quite a few times to try to pull out the win. He just is not able to capitalize on that first win, but I'm sure he will end up getting a win sometime this season. Now, our next race is not until January the 9th. We will be taking a Christmas break, and we will not be back until January the 9th, and we will be back at Talladega, and that is going to be a fun race to call. You know, anything can happen at Dega, and usually happens anyway. So if it can go wrong, it probably will go wrong. And it looks like James South is all over the back door of Ryan Hesgard, and he's trying to get down up underneath him, and he is underneath him just a little. And he makes a good run coming off. He just is not able to capitalize on that. Jump back up in here and see what's going on. Anthony is running a high line way up there at top. And he gets a really good run coming off. But I think these tires have just about had it. They are 29 laps on tires, and looks like Clay Phillips is 1 lap down and come in about 2 laps ago to get him some new tires and some gasoline. So let's See if we can't figure out exactly how far back he is. Do a rear chase and see. Well, he came in and got his truck fixed for sure. So he'll probably be able to run these trucks back down. If everybody comes in, which I doubt they do, they only got, looks like about 14 laps to go. I don't think Clay's going to be able to pull that one out of, well, I don't think that miracle is actually going to work for him. I thought I seen a battle, and it looks like Daniel Hallis has took some rear end damage somehow. Somebody's hit him pretty hard in the rear end. James South is still continuing to try to make that pass. I would try to go back and get you what happened to Daniel Hallis, but I have no idea when or where it happened at. So we're just going to have to speculate. Might be able to get an interview with oh man, I drew a blank. Daniel Hallis at the end of this race. Like to figure out what happened to him anyway. Brady Briggs is sitting there comfortably riding right in behind James South. Anthony Burroughs continues to run that high line, and it's not really actually working for him. He is way off. And Jordan Gonzalez went low and wide. He is actually closing in on the back door of Blake Griffith as we have 11 laps to go. 10 laps to go this time by, so with 10 laps to go, Jordan needs to put the pedal to the metal. And we're gonna excuse me, the battle is between these four trucks right here: Daniel Hallis, James South, Brady Briggs, and Ryan Branch. And James South once again is trying to get up underneath Daniel Hallis and just is not able to do it. He got a little squirrely right there. I'm sure that his tires are not feeling none too good with 36 laps on them. And Blake Griffith and Jordan Gonzalez are your leaders. Anthony Burroughs is currently third. Ryan Hesgard is in the fourth position. Daniel Hallis looked like he got a heck of a run. We'll stick right here for a second. We'll follow Ryan Hesgard and Daniel Hallis. Once he was able to get a little bit of distance between him and James South and not having to worry about his inside, he has actually got up and caught Ryan Hesgard. He keeps getting a good run coming off. He might be able to get down here to the backstretch and do a little something coming in. He just gets a heck of a run coming off, and he actually does almost attempt to make that pass right there. Looks like Ryan Hesgard's actually got a little bit of front end damage too. And he does. Ryan Hesgard has made some contact somewhere. James South is once again up underneath the back side of Daniel Hallis and was not able to complete that pass. We got 5 laps to go. And Jordan Gonzalez is, I don't know what is going on with him. Let's see if we can't figure that one out, because if we just popped back, he was all over the place. And he comes off right there. Yeah, he got way loose coming off. So Jordan Gonzalez has got a handful with 41 laps on those tires. And he actually made some contact right there with the wall. And the 23 of Ryan Branch is slow and on the bottom. Really not sure what happened there. See if we can't get a quick look at it. Oh, looks like he ended up smacking the wall just a little bit. Alright, let's see. Ryan Branch is trying to get past Chris James. And dang if I didn't miss it again. Well, anyway, Ryan Branch ended up hitting the inside fence. Got loose, made contact something, and ended up getting loose and grabbing the inside fence. That's a shame for Ryan Branch. And Jordan Gonzalez once again grabs the outside wall with 3 laps to go. He continues to do that. He's going to allow Anthony Burroughs to catch up with him and end up taking his second spot away from him. I mean, Jordan Gonzalez, he doesn't have any hope of finishing in the winner's circle tonight. I mean, as he's already almost 1 second back off Blake Griffith. So as long as Blake Griffith continues to run his line, he will once again come to be our winner of this race. When he crosses the line this time, we will be 1 lap to go. And we are on our final lap, ladies and gentlemen. So 1 lap to go, and it's going to be over. Give it off to Blake Griffith. Looks like Jordan Gonzalez is actually going to maintain his second position, followed by Anthony Burroughs. And looks like Daniel Hallis is trying to get around, but is not able to capitalize on it. And we do have a checker flag, and give that checker flag right there to that man, Blake Griffith, as he ends up winning the DRL Winter Series Atlanta Motor Speedway 97.5 miles, or the 65 lapper as it is. As of right now, our unofficial standings. Unofficially, Blake Griffith is our winner. Jordan Gonzalez is second. Anthony Burroughs is third. Ryan Hesgard is fourth. Daniel Hallis is fifth. James South is sixth. Brady Briggs is seventh. Chris James is eighth. David Wright comes off in our ninth position. James Pandolf comes home in our top 10. Followed by Clay Phillips, Ryan Branch, and Landon Lacey actually ends up in our 13th position, as I do not get points. So that rounds out our race results. And I don't know why we're gridding again, but we're gonna see if we can't get a couple of interviews in with this man right here. soon as I can find him. Well, I'm trying to get him moved up. Once I get... I think we just about got him. Hey Blake, you got a copy?
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Well, another win for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I can repeat that in the main. But it was a fun race, man. I enjoyed it. I love these slick tracks.
Well, I was trying to decide whether y'all was going to be able to have to come in one more time or not on the tires and gasoline, but I guess after that first caution, y'all were good to go to the end.
Yeah, I took a few gallons. I think I was going to be like 15 or so short, so I went ahead and took a little bit of fuel. And I knew on that first run, I seen a couple guys. I was trying to save hard, and I seen a couple guys coming at me really hard. So I knew if I could just continue saving that I'd be all right in the end. Then we had that caution, and again, I continued to save, and just, I mean, I was putting down really slow lap times, just babying it around the track. And Brady and Jordan were both pretty quick, and so was Anthony. They were all three pretty quick. But I think it was just a race of saving tires. Had to save a lot of tires. So luckily I came out on top. Hopefully I can do that again in the main.
Yeah, well, we look forward to you too, and you doing it again in the main. Got anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, thanks to James and everybody that puts on the league. Appreciate you for broadcasting, and appreciate my team, CCR, and everybody on my team.
All right, man. Good luck in the main event.
Appreciate it, buddy. See you then.
All right, brother. All right, we're gonna see if we can't grab a hold to Jordan Gonzalez real quick. Get a hold to Jordan. Find out what happened to him. And there he is. We'll move him up. Hey Jordan, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. You got a second place, and so how does it feel?
Bro, this P7 Chevrolet felt amazing. The second place feels amazing. First time ever in the top 3 in this league. I'm ecstatic. It's amazing.
Well, I noticed you had your hands full there the last couple of laps.
Oh yeah, this track got slick quick, and trying to stay with Blake while saving tires, that fine balancing act. I was trying to reel him in, then my hands getting all sweaty, getting nervous, like, oh, I think I got a chance. And then I just blew my marks a couple spots, and touched the wall, just getting real slick. So 47 laps, 47 laps in those tires, definitely a handful.
Well, good luck in your main event. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you. Yeah, the Project 7 student clubs that's out there, the Gonzalez Racing Team, the UPCI, Axe 238, and Ryan Hesgard. We were teaming up a little bit this race from the S2R team. Of course, good win for Blake, and congrats to Anthony for another top 3 for him.
Yes, sir. Well, you have a good night, and we'll see you at 9:30, brother.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, we're going to try to grab Anthony Burrows. And thank God I don't have to search real far for him. Hey, Anthony, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, top 3 again.
Yeah, it feels good to get through. That race was a lot of fun, having the line move around. Setup was getting a little skatey going off the corner. Yeah, the high side was a ton of fun to drive. Yeah, just couldn't quite get up there in the end. Made a couple mistakes. Lost the top 2. But, yeah, it was a fun race overall.
I didn't quite understand how you ended up getting rear end damage. Did you hear? Well, I guess you didn't hear me because my mic's not working for some reason. Let me see what's going on. Well, you got me now?
Yeah.
Alright, what happened to your rear end, man?
I don't think I hit anything. I don't know.
Well, it did show that you had some major rear end damage. I was just wondering if somebody got into the back end of you.
No, I don't remember anything in the back. I don't know what that could be.
Okay, well, it might have been just a graphics glitch on my end. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big shout out to everyone in that race for clean, hard racing. Shout out to James putting on this league and putting on the broadcast.
Well, we thank you for that, and you have a good night, and we'll try to see you in the main event. You going to be able to make it this time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing you in the main event at 9:30, brother. You have a good night.
Alright, thank you. You too.
Let's see if we can't put him back where he belongs. Quick chance, and we'll grab Ryan Hesgard if I can quickly find him. And he's right there, so I'll grab him real quick. Hey Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, David, go ahead.
Well, you got your top 4 position. Actually, yeah, top 4, so not too bad. And my mic is not working again. Hold on, it's serious.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, you got your top 4 position.
I don't know how. No idea. I was running there in 4th and we pit. 4th or 5th, I don't remember. Overshot my pit box. Backed up, was too far left. So I just decided to leave because I was going to go to the back anyway. Had to pit and then we had to drive our way back up. We got a couple guys, got a little score there, helped us out a little bit, but that was a good drive.
Yeah, it looked like it was a good run for you. I really enjoyed some of the racing that was going on. We followed you most of the race, you and James South, doing a lot of battling. You got anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I was going to start with the entire S2R team. We actually picked up another member over in the beef split tonight. Got himself a top 10 for his first race, so proud of him. Got to give a shout out to Jordan. Him and I were kind of teaming up a little bit this race. We were helping each other out there in practice, so I got to give him a thank you. He showed me a couple things. Of course, we got to thank you, David, for the broadcast and everything that you do for DRL. We got to shout out the entire DRL organization, and a special shout out to Ryan Branch for putting these truck seats together.
Well, good luck tonight in the main event. We'll see you there at 9:30, brother.
Thanks, David.
Yes, sir. Okay, if we can find Daniel Hallis, we'll grab that, and that'll be our final interview. I know he's here. Well, I assumed that he was. And it doesn't look like Daniel Hallis is in. There he is. Yes, he is. There he is. One more spot. Hey, Daniel, you got a copy? Daniel, you there?
Yep.
Hey, brother. Top 5 out of the race. How's it feel?
Amazing. Hit the wall a couple times, so I'm pretty impressed that I got where I got.
Well, you did complete the race and you finished in the top 5. That moves you up a little bit in the points. You think you got anything for the main event?
All depends on where I get lucky and where I don't get lucky. I don't know.
Well, you hang in there, brother, and you drive like you did now, and you'll end up getting the top 5.
Appreciate it. Thanks much.
Yes, sir. You got anybody want to give a quick shout out to?
As always, my sponsor, Northeast Ohio Ghostbusters, and the DRL, yourself for broadcasting. You guys do a good job, so thanks.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll see you at 9:30. You take you a quick break here and get you something to drink and calm down a little bit.
10-4, my wrist is killing me.
Yes, sir. Well, you got 100 laps to go, so definitely rest that wrist. Put some ice on it if you need to.
10-4, take it easy.
Yes, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does complete our Winter Series Atlanta race here at DRL. Winter Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We did run a 97.5 miles for 65 laps. Got to give a big shout out to Oculus Rift for sponsoring this network. Got to give a big shout out to NVIDIA. A big thank you for DRL for allowing me to broadcast these races for them. It's something, like I say, I really enjoy doing. So with that said, we are going to finish out this with wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you enjoyed this race, look forward to the 9:30 race. We will be back here at 9:30 tonight for our main event. We will be running 100 laps for 150 miles. And good night and God bless. And like I say, once again, very Merry Christmas to everyone and a Happy New Year.